Hi everyone, Linda here. I thought I would come on and sort of ask you the question, who controls your confidence? And depending on your answer, I'd suggest if it's not yourself, then is it actually yours to keep? And that's a pretty dangerous situation to be in. So I really want you to think about this in a way. So I thought I'd start off with just running through what I think confidence is. And basically, it's belief in yourself, belief in your own judgment and your ability to achieve whatever it is that you need to do at that particular time, so that you're not wavering and you're sure that you're going to be able to cope with what comes along in that situation. And it feels great when you're confident, doesn't it? You kind of just get out there and you do it. You're not holding yourself back in any way. You're not worried or stressed about what might happen because you just know that you can do it. It's wonderful. And you can then look forward to the activities that you're going to do, whatever it is that you're planning to do. But it varies for most of us from one situation to another, and there's a lot of reasons for that. It's very few people that could say that they're absolutely 100% confident all of the time. In fact, some of those might actually be on some kind of high, which is a bit of a false belief there. So most of the time there are other things that can influence how confident we feel, including how familiar we are with that particular type of situation, how we're feeling that day in ourselves, what else might have happened, who we're with, and all those kind of things. So it leads me on to that question then, who owns your confidence? Have you ever actually thought about that? Well, it depends on whether you have inner confidence, self-confidence in other words, or confidence that you get from all kinds of external places outside of yourself. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're someone who seeks reassurance from others to say that you're doing a good job or that was good, and you don't actually believe it yourself unless you've had that kind of feedback from somebody. Perhaps you're somebody that needs qualifications to actually believe that you know enough about that particular topic, or that you meet the grade somehow. Perhaps you seek status as well. It can be in all kinds of ways, can't it? It could be in the role that you have in the corporate world or in your job, so that you get a nice big job title or something like that. But it can also be status in terms of knowing that you've got a really good home or the flashiest car. You might compare yourself to others, even if you don't actually acknowledge that you're doing this all the time. But in a way, you kind of want to know that you're at least keeping up with your peers from school or from college or from other people, from other places like that. You don't want to be feeling as though you're behind the curve and everyone else is doing much better than you. Then if any of those sort of are the kind of places that you get confidence from, then I would suggest that your confidence is being controlled from external sources. And the reason that matters is because that makes it quite vulnerable. It can all disappear, it can all be removed, apart from the qualifications, unless you do something really appalling, but the qualification is yours for keeps, but the rest of it can disappear. Say you lose your job, for example, and that's a really big thing for you in terms of your identity and your status and your belief in yourself, just because of that job you've made redundant, and then that has gone. And if you don't instantly get yourself another job of equal status, then that can really, really knock you for six. It's not just the loss of income, it's not just the loss of the role, but it's your identity and your confidence that's taking a hit. And that can start a real spiral down towards, depression and anxiety and things like that. And you don't want that. So your confidence is being controlled by external sources. So what can you do about that? Well, the idea is to start growing your own confidence. That's absolutely it. So it's inner self-confidence that you can draw on, and it makes you resilient against the knocks and the curveballs that life can throw at you. So I'm going to give you 3 tips now on ways that you can start developing and taking control of your own confidence. And the first one of those is to set yourself some goals of things that you really want to achieve in your life, in an area where where your confidence is lower. Perhaps challenge yourself, but then when you've got your goal, visualise your success in achieving it. Now, visualization is a really powerful technique because you don't just imagine the picture of it, but you also feel the feelings that go with it. So on all levels, all different levels of sense. So you've got your, what you can see, what you can smell, what you can taste, what you can hear, and so on. So you use all of your senses to actually make that visualization real. And it works for athletes. They don't start a race. I was thinking about this against Usain Bolt. Imagine being on that start line with the fastest man in the world. Do you think the others are thinking there that they don't stand a chance of winning? No, because they wouldn't. They wouldn't be in that race, would they? They wouldn't have got to the level that they are. They've been trained to visualise their success. Anything can happen, and why shouldn't it be them that wins? In their minds, they are already on that podium getting the award. So that's the kind of strength of feeling that you need to be able to develop for yourself as well. So that's one way that you can start developing your self-confidence. Another way is to work with a coach or a mentor. So it could be on something really specific where you need your confidence boosting in that particular area. So I do a lot of work with people that are going through changes at work, for example, and they're having to reapply for their own jobs or apply for a job that might not actually be something that they would have thought they would go for. It might be higher level, and they start wobbling that they're not good enough and all of those kind of messages. It could be about delivering a speech or having to make a presentation of some kind. So it can be really specific, or it could be more general about confidence as a whole. So that's another way that you can do it. And the third way I'll recommend is to really look after yourself. Now, self-care is very important so that you are functioning at your best level physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually, because then you'll be much more resilient against anything that comes along. You'll know that you're capable of handling it. You're not going to let yourself down. You're strong and your emotions are under control. So it's not selfish, it's essential. So look after yourself. Okay, so if you want more support in any of these areas or a bit of inspiration on this topic, excuse the plane going overhead here, I do run a group for women called the Women's Confidence and Clarity Network, and if you're not a member already, please hop over and answer the joining questions if you like the look of it, and I'd be delighted to welcome you over there. I hope you found some of this interesting and can take some of it away and use it and start developing your own inner confidence if it's not already inner confidence. And thanks so much for watching. All right, bye for now.